All right, y'all know the drill. I may cuss, but I don't curse. We're going to get that situated first and get into this lecture, all right? So this is going to be the prequel before scaling a product or service. I'm going to be doing an electional chart reading video. That will be in the membership portal. For those of you who don't know, you can go to the channel and subscribe to the memberships, spiritual routine, and you can get the behind the scenes. Bars are nice, we know that already, of what it is that's going on. So manifestors, right, who are looking for the moment to scale a product or service, they majority of the time want to know the when in astrology. So the most tried method for doing this normally is using an electional chart reading. It's basically when you predict when is the best time to do something based upon where the planets are transiting in a particular moment in the future, right? So the reason why I'm doing this video is because I feel that it's best that you understand what a planetary transit is, what it consists of, so that when you do see the electional chart reading video, you'll know the language, you'll know why an astrologer seeks to find out where planets are before or while planning what it is that you're trying to do. This is going to be an explanation of the planets in the current time, in this very moment. In most cases in astrology, if you can't read a transit, you're going to be lost. All right, now you may act out what it is that you're doing, and it still may be able to be prescribed and described in astrology when tracking the ephemeris. However, you might not know in real time the comprehension of it. You may have to look and reflect on it by using the ephemeris, right? So for those of you who want to get a grip on it, pause before getting into what it is that you're doing, then you will want to look into understanding what a transit is. You're going to see a diagram of planets, signs, and houses. This is going to be relative to what's going on with me. And yeah, I'm going to use myself as an example, right? So this example will be using the solar chart. So as you notice, I put God first equals solar chart. Now, reason being is because God speaks to us on a frequency level to our souls. So whatever your sun sign is, like my sign is Pisces, God is going to be speaking to me as Pisces being my first house, despite me being a Virgo first house. You understand what I'm saying? So not only that, when you're looking at your solar chart, you're dealing with the conscious mind, the present moment. So for people who are struggling with the past, the present, and the future, whether you're looking at it as linear or spread out, multi-dimensional, if you want to be in the present moment to the fullest, you want to look at your solar chart and understand where the current planets are transiting. That's the example that we have right here. So you'll see that I have Pluto, which is the black planet, transiting in Aquarius right now, right? Aquarius rules over electronics, electronic publishing, electronic media. It rules over astrology as well. Keep that in mind. So right now it's sextile the gray planet in the purple planet. The gray planet is Saturn. The purple planet is Neptune. And Pluto is in my 12th house in the solar chart. And Saturn and Neptune are in my second house in the solar chart. So a sextile aspect represents an opportunity, y'all. So it's when two planets are having a conversation, like angels having a conversation about you, is what an aspect is. And an opportunity, sextile, is when two planets are between 54 and 66 degrees apart from each other. They have an influence on each other. So like I said, they're having a conversation about you, right? So just 2 days ago, I had a gig that I went to that dealt with tech, right? So Pluto inside of tech, inside of Aquarius, the sign of Aquarius. That's the opportunity because Saturn is building / planning my personal finances or what I want my materialistic attitude to be for myself because it's in my second house. It's transit in my second house. But it's in correlation with the planet Neptune, which is my dream. So basically, how do I vision my dream, which is widespread, right? And it should. Your vision should be widespread when it comes to Neptune. How do I envision myself paying myself personally? What do I feel is adequate enough for me when it comes to the lifestyle that I want? That's what Saturn does when it's in your second house. Structuring and planning how you will take care of yourself in that area. But there's also like expected to be restraint, a little pullback, living beneath your means and things of that nature. You understand what I'm saying? So with those planets, sextile Pluto and Aquarius, I'm looking to make an investment back into electronic media, which is the Pi website, right? So in order to do so, I go and I seize this opportunity. Do you have to seize all opportunities? No, you don't. I went and I did mine. Saturn deals with ambition. It's really up to you. That's where free will comes in. You know what I'm saying? You can put it off to another day and say, you know what, I'll wait for the next opportunity. It's truly up to you. I let my ambition get the best of me. I went and I did it. And the actual reward for it is the exact dollar amount that the investment needs for the website, right? So members, y'all know when I talk in the membership portal about Billie Jean, lighting up the concrete. When you got a plan, you'll see the concrete light up before you. Your plan will start unfolding before you. When you're aware of the current transit, right, putting God first, the solar chart, you'll see the opportunities pop up based upon your plan. And then it's really up to you to say, well, I'm not going to put that off to tomorrow, but this is what I said I was going to do, right? So I went and I moved my feet and I got to it. You understand what I'm saying? Now check this out. During the process, right, I got frustrated because natally, this is a little trick for everybody who, some of y'all know this already, but if you want to correlate the solar chart, which is the present moment, with your natal chart, which is absolute. Your natal chart is absolute, right? But you could just be swimming in a sea of thoughts and visions with your natal chart based upon the interpretation, like, oh, I got a natal chart. That means I'm like this and I'm like that. Yeah, but what are you going to do with it, right? That's where the solar chart comes in, because you got to be in the present moment to act out what needs to be done to obtain those things for your natal chart. So natally, my Saturn is in Virgo. So that's in conjunct where Saturn is right now in Aries. An in conjunct aspect, and if you ask me, my opinion is an in conjunct aspect, which is one of the minor aspects, when two planets are 150 degrees apart from each other, they're more consequential, or I would say frustrating and irritating, than a square and an opposition is for me. So during this process, while I'm going on the way to the gig, I realized that I had to go way out of my way, traveling wise, in order to pull this off. You know what I'm saying? But I went. And not for nothing, like the foot traffic was crazy and everything. It felt like everybody was just like walking towards me. You know how there's like mad space, or sometimes there's space, enough space for you to go around. You know what I'm saying? It just felt like people were just coming towards me and like they were oblivious to me even being there. So it was just like, it could get frustrating, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, with the ambition and the willpower to do what it is that you need to do, especially when Saturn's associated with the combination, then you're more than likely going to go and pull it off and plow through anyway. So that happened, right? Now you'll see that those two planets are also sextile planets, Uranus and Venus, in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is my fourth house, all right? So with Gemini, with Venus being there, it's not necessarily for the investment in the tech, because it's all planned out and structured. Venus is more of an action that says, oh, well, I could spend this wealth on my personal endeavors or what have you. But with Venus being in Gemini, since Gemini rules over advertising, you know, these YouTube videos are going to generate advertising revenue for me in that area because Venus is in Gemini. So it's probably going to see a raise in that area during this transit because Gemini rules over advertising. Now, Uranus being there also is helpful because Uranus is first, it rules over air, and things that are done in the sign of Aquarius are going to have, or should I say more like this, things that are done in the sign of Gemini are going to have more impact in my 12th house in the sign of Aquarius because Uranus rules over Aquarius, right? So that means working from home, like I'm doing right now, recording this video, I'll be able to put more videos up in astrology, which Aquarius rules over, which is in my 12th house in the solar chart. So members, as you've been seeing, members have been getting a whole lot of videos, banger after banger after banger after banger lately, because that's the type of energy that the planets are giving off as they're transiting, and I'm acting it out, right? So we have that. Now, instead of, like I said, using my personal finances, I chose to make, I would say, I'm not even going to say necessarily an investment yet, but I gifted someone, I gifted a friend something by mailing it to them, right? So Gemini rules over mailing and all forms of communication. I communicated with them. We was back and forth. I said, yo, I'm going to send this. They sent me something. I said, yo, I'm going to send this. And this also presents an opportunity for people to model at home, right? So again, fourth house for Gemini for me is at home. Now, there's that. So before we get to Jupiter, because I know that's probably what everybody is here for, right? Let me explain the Pluto-Sun opposition, all right? Now, for me, and maybe you could pick up a pointer here, oppositions are not that tricky for me because to me, I view it as a light switch. And if you could view it as a light switch, it'll probably be more simpler for you as well. Sure, they're on different sides of the spectrum, but if you look at it as like turning the light switch on and off, then you'll be able to juggle it. You understand what I mean? So if you've noticed lately, I've been leaking rap music here and there. Simultaneously, I've been pumping out astrology videos. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, the members have been getting more. And the reason being is because Pluto was inside of my 12th house, transiting my 12th house of Aquarius, right? Aquarius rules over astrology, and the 12th house rules over confidential information and behind the scenes events, right? So the membership is behind the scenes, it's behind a paywall. So they get certain information that the public does not get. So that's why they've been getting more of it. Pluto is flexing its power in my 12th house over there in Aquarius that rules over astrology. But I would say I'm doing music at the same time because it makes me feel vigorous. It gives me the energy that I feel like sometimes I'm lacking when I'm being so serious handling all of these things. You know what I mean? So for my own vitality and my own health, my own sanity, I do the music thing and just leak it, you know, record something, leak it, whatever the case may be. And that's the Pluto and Sun opposition in those signs. Now let's get to the Jupiter aspect, right? So Jupiter is the green planet inside of the sign Cancer. It's transiting Cancer right now, and it's exalted in the sign of Cancer. It likes to be there, you know what I mean? Now, it's squaring the planet Saturn and Neptune. It doesn't mean that all bets are off when you have a square, y'all. You can learn a lot from a square, and you can gain a lot of maybe abundance. You can gain from addressing a square. You can. Me, on the other hand, I chose to sit this one out. Reason being is because, again, Saturn and Neptune is transiting my second house. Now, Neptune rules over losses anyway, right? So I feel like, first of all, if I invest by clicking the Jupiter button, because Jupiter is what I call the expansion button, the scaling button, really is what I call it, because it allows you to bring more visibility to the product and the service that you're distributing, to ad campaigns and things of that nature, whether it's publications, being on the blogs, the vlogs, writing a book, whatever way that people could get more eyes on your stuff. This is where you press the Jupiter button, right? You utilize your allies. That may have like you utilize your allies, the most powerful ones or the most positive ones too, should I say, in order to get your stuff out there, right? So if you go to my channel right now, if you click on the website, you can go to the website, but it's just a landing page where you can submit some information and basically get on the waiting list, because my website is unprepared. This is another factor of why I'm not pressing that button. And yes, I bought this on myself. I'm not even complaining about it, because if you recall, I had the link set up. I had a different website, right? I coded it on my own. I was proud of it, you know what I'm saying? I had all my products and services up there, review, entertainment, all types of stuff, right? And then my plan got bigger. My vision got bigger. I had this great idea, like, why don't I go bigger? Why don't I go better? So then I started making more investments in coding and tech. And then now I'm at where I'm at right now. It's difficult to even get in contact with me right now because of the arrangements that I've made. Like, if you want a reading from me, you basically got to track me down and like find out what my email is. For those of you who have my phone numbers, the 347 is out of commission right now. That's Uranus doing what Uranus does, you know what I'm saying? And so you'd have to contact the 617 number, y'all, all right? And for those of you who have my email address already, just contact me via the email addresses. Get in the comment section if you really want to get in contact with me for a reading other than that. But the website is unprepared. So it's another factor of saying, you know, should you really press the Jupiter button to scale the product and the service? Because I got a whole double album recorded right now. right? And it's like when I think to myself, I say, well, wouldn't it be ideal if everyone could come or certain people could come to the website and get the album on like some VIP status before I press the Jupiter button in the other distribution centers like Apple Music, Spotify, etc., etc. Like that would be dope, right? You get it beforehand, you know what I'm saying? Like a pre-order or something like that. So that's the way my mentality is set up for my dream, for my vision, to bring people to the website, to the pod website, you know? Now, I could go for instant gratification, which I speak about a lot in the wealth portals, to where we just want to feel like we got motion, we got traction. I'm not waiting for nothing or nobody. I'm going to express this ego to the fullest extent, and whatever happens, happens. I'm living in the moment. Well, I'm on a verge of doing a lot of planning and letting my concrete light up like Billie Jean. So, in context, I'm like, okay, Saturn is the time lord, rules over time, restraint, refraining, discipline. Let me show some discipline here and not do that just to be able to say, oh, I did that. You know what I'm saying? Instant gratification. Yeah, I'm doing music, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then people are like, oh, so where can we go to buy this? And where can we go that? And then I don't have the proper information to give them, or it looks unprofessional because they're like, man, I thought I could go get this right now. I thought I could get more of you and this, that, and the third. I'm not going to set off that button to face those types of consequences. Plus, if you know me, you know my chart, you know that it's better for me to finance the whole campaign using debt financing. It just makes much more sense, and that's another factor of Saturn transiting my second house. Second house is personal finances. Doesn't mean corporate revenue. Corporate revenue is 11th house, right? So when you know these things, it's best to utilize them when setting up your electional chart, because you'll have an understanding of what it means of why an astrologer goes to seek where planets are, what signs they're transiting, what houses they fall in for the person asking the question. Because it's an articulation here. It'll explain to you, well, this is what potentially is going to happen and what's potentially not going to happen. So I don't want to swing and a miss. I've been there plenty of times, you know what I'm saying? And failing forward is a thing, yes. Now it's up to the individual what they choose to do. So hope this helps everyone and anyone who watched. Members, stay tuned. You already know I'll be following up with the electional chart reading in the membership portal, spiritual routine. And for those of you who don't know, electional chart readings go for a multiple areas of things, a multitude of things. So you can seek when's the best time to start a business, when's the best time to buy a car, when's the best time to have surgery, when's the best time to get married, etc., etc. The list goes on. You name it, you can do an electional chart reading for me. All right? So again, I hope this helps someone. Until next time, I'm out.